I would have done the entire stream muted if you guys weren't spamming there. Holy... That would have been so bad. Ah, you guys saved me so bad. The number of times I've done that on my own streams, 0. Number of times I've done it on here, almost twice. The first time around my mic wasn't working, and I only just caught it before the stream started. That's terrible. That's not a good start to the stream. Now we're 20 in and you guys haven't heard a thing. So yeah, as you guys can... Why does it keep on walking me one... I don't even know. I click that, spawn 5, insta-kill them with these chins, and yeah, good to go. Oh, I used... Damn it, I thought that was a hilt. Okay, shows how much God Wars I've done. But yeah, so I can insta-kill them and then I can just bank all this stuff. Hopefully I've wiped my bank. I should have wiped my bank. If not, I can wipe my bank in a second. I don't want to accidentally wipe my bank midway through, that would suck. But yeah. Look at all these Addy arrows P++, that's absolutely ridiculous. It's only been how many kills? 40 kills. This is actually going kind of fast. Settle stats, no. Spawn crow. 5 hilts, whoa. Yeah, no. Oh, anything gone to the floor? No. Okay, time to bank. I gotta remember how to use this potato. There's so many options on it. Open bank, tell me it's empty. It's empty. Gotta get my potato back. There we go. Oh, I already spawned them. I'm losing track already. Okay, you guys gotta like ask some questions or something, so I've got something to talk about. Oh, there were Zammy brews on the floor. Why did they go onto the floor? I swear they were from the last kill. Oh well. So if you've got questions regarding anything old school, let me have them so I can talk about something, not sit here awkwardly while I kill 1,000 krills. By the way, for the record, I have no idea how to say this boss's name. I'm going to just avoid it as much as possible. Absolutely no clue. And if you guys could tell me, then I probably wouldn't believe you. Ronan, please apologise for PKing black chin hunters. I will not apologise for that. Zammy spear already, that is not too bad. They were in the wilderness, so I killed them. They had every opportunity to run away. They didn't. So I took all their things. Yeah, lots of failed attempts, I think, at trying to spell out how you would say. I'm gonna go. Krill to Tsutsaroth is as good as it's gonna get from me. How's the current population of RuneScape doing? Like, is it rising or are less people playing? Lots of people playing, lots of new people are coming to Old School right now. RuneScape as a whole right now, absolutely tons. RuneScape's in a really, really, really good place right now. Old School is doing fantastically. The release of Legacy has seen a bunch of people go to the main game, so yeah, Old School's doing really well. Main game's doing really well. It's all looking good for RuneScape. I want to get a bit closer to these people, but you know what? I don't want to accidentally kill them all. You know, like one J-mod may have done at one point. Mike isn't muted. Get out, you scumbag. Trying to fool me. There's the one guy amongst the, like, must be 50 people spamming it. And there's the one guy just saying, no, it's not. I'm trying to catch some decent questions, but you guys are too busy. Trying to fool me, failing to fool me, but still trying. I'll tell you what, it's satisfying to one bang a boss monster. Am I getting any loot from these things? What's going on? There we go, finally got something. Addy plate on the floor. Peel. I really don't know why they chose a potato and why they decided to make it so annoying to find things in here, because I have no idea what mash is supposed to do. Okay, spawn crew. How long will you keep Old School RuneScape open? I suppose it'll be open I mean, there's no plans to close it, that's for sure. It'll be open for as long as there are people playing it. If there's no one playing it, there's not much point in keeping it open, but at the minute, it's growing a lot, and I think you guys will agree with me. I'm saying this as a player. I'm loving the game right now. I've been loving the game for months and months and months. It's I don't know. I'm enjoying the updates that are coming out. When are we going to poll Court Beast? Another God Sword Shard. Court Beast. Let me think about it. I don't want to say the wrong thing. It's not going to be in the immediate future. Like, it's not going to be in the next month more than I don't know actually. Polling of Corp, I suppose it could happen at any point, but I'd imagine we want to start some form of development so we can show you guys what it'll be like. Alfred's working away on Corp at the minute, doing a brilliant job at that. But I don't suspect we'll see it in a poll in the next month or so. After that, it's going to be... No, wrong one. See, this is... It's on its way. That's all you need to know. It's going to be polled in the not too distant future, and it's going to probably pass with flying colours. People are absolutely hyped for Corp. What's behind me? A wall is behind me, and there's some other stuff as well, like postery kind of things. I don't know what you'd call them. Spawn Crow. I gotta get on the ball with this. Ugh. Where's the trade station poll? I don't know what's happening with that. I know that we have an idea of what you guys want it to be based on the last poll. I'm not sure if the final version is going to be polled or simply released. We'll have to see. I'll ask Matt about that tomorrow. Find out the deets for you guys, but it's going to be worked on. We know what you guys want based on the last poll. We know exactly what you guys want. Another God Sword Shard, jeez. It's just a matter of working that into a system that actually all of the different aspects of what you guys want works in one system. That's essentially the challenge of that, which isn't as easy as it seems. Dragon Claws. You know, a lot of people say no to claws, but I would love to see claws. I would love to see them, as long as they're balanced for old school. Steam Battle Staff, not too shabby. Then I would definitely love to see them in the game. But like I say, has to be balanced for old school. You don't want to go and see claws if you can hit like 300 damage with them every spell. I'm clicking the wrong stuff here. What am I doing? Spawn Crow. Full screen in Old School RuneScape. I think what's been talked about is the potential for, as opposed to the game window actually changing in any way, it would just be scaled up. So you'd still see the exact same stuff, it would just better fit your screen. I believe that's a possibility. I'm not sure whether or not it's going to be happening, because I can only imagine that would require a fair amount of engine work. So I don't know if that's something that's planned at the minute. It depends on how possible it is. That might be something that clients would be more set up for doing, as opposed to it being built into the game. Who knows? Unfortunately, I'm not a developer, so I can't give you the specifics. Are curses ever coming to Old School? I don't know if specifically curses will. But I think the possibility of a new prayer book is definitely not out of the question. I think it's something that a lot of players have actually been asking for in recent times. So it is not impossible, but I think curses in their previous form, as they were in the main game, I think people would probably not vote for them to end up in the game. I don't know, I don't think that would go down well. With a lot of things that used to be associated with like overpowered stuff, anything to do with Dragon Claws or PvP armor essentially means it's not going to pass. And I think the same would be said for curses. People associate turmoil with getting one hit by an AGS or one hit by claws or Karasi. So it's I think it would definitely have to be balanced for Old School if it were coming out, but alternatives maybe. Will there be any new quests in Old School? It's definitely a possibility. In the priorities poll, or the priorities survey that went out a while back, it was quite a while back now, I believe quests came at the bottom or near the bottom of the list for what the players want. So while it is possible, the odds of it happening before some other big updates is slim. There are some plans for quests. There was a plan for a quest with the new continent. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case anymore, because doing a continent is one hell of a job on its own. Doing a quest on top of that is a whole nother story. But it's a matter of whether or not a large number of players want it. And at the end of the day, it's what you guys want that determines what goes into the game. If there's enough of a shout for quests, then hell yeah, we'll get some quests in for you. Our name's going to be released soon. I'm not sure if dates have been given. If they have, they haven't been given to me. But I believe that they'll be coming out. I'm not going to give anything specific because, like I said, I don't know, but I know it's July and August. That's the limit of my knowledge. I'm going to move on before I say something and it's completely off the mark. Another Zami Spear. How many have I killed so far? 270. That's not too bad. Spawn Grill. If I don't get a hilt, I'll be rather disappointed. The drop rate of hilts from Zami, I believe, is 508. 1 in 508, so it's pretty rare, but I should be getting one, maybe 2 if I'm lucky, from 1,000 grills. As for spears and steam battle staffs, they are, what are they? I've got it written down here from John. 1 in 127, and so far I believe I've had 2 of each. So that's reasonable. Would it be possible to to poll the reworking of the Odium / Malediction wards again? What on earth was that just got thrown? I think it's probably not wise to do it right away. I think if we get into the habit of essentially repolling stuff until something passes, in a way that is just manipulating how the polls work. If something doesn't pass, it doesn't pass. We've got to stick to that. We can't just, if something gets close, give it another chance, because giving it that other chance it's rather unnecessary when it already failed. And a lot of people have been concerned with the way that the polls work when they really shouldn't be. Oh, I keep on thinking that Godsword Shard 1 is a hilt. The 75% benchmark is there for a very good reason. It means that only things that really, really should be in the game and that have massive player support will be in the game. And the 75% benchmark has done the game good so far. Like every update that's gone into the game, people have loved. I know I have as a player. What are these things getting thrown? I think they're rotten tomatoes. I'm not sure. I did not drop anything. Beautiful. If it misses by 1 or 2%, it's still missed. At the end of the day, it's not reached the benchmark that we use for absolutely everything. If we lowered that to 70%, then we'd just end up having things that hit 69%. No matter where you set the limit, those shards are going to get me constantly, aren't they? No matter what where you set the limit, you're going to have the updates that some people want, but it just misses. But we've got to keep it consistent. These shards, getting so much. There's that 3 in 15 kills. Any plans to release Stealing Creation? I believe in a fairly old Q&A, Modash may have said that even if we were to remake Stealing Creations and re-release it, it would not end up being the same minigame that you knew. They could spend a whole lot of time developing it and it come out similar, but it would not be the same, and it would be a massive time sink, and it's not something that an enormous number of players have asked for. There are some players that would like it, but at the same time it's a massive amount of development time and it won't come out as it was in the main game. Another spear. This is going pretty well. So as much as you might want Stealing Creation, what you would get in Old School wouldn't necessarily be stealing creations as you remember it. I'm trying to balance talking with spawning these things and murdering them. Let's see. These rune skims are stacking up nicely. In fact, I'm going to give the bank a look. With 360 ins, that's a reasonable chunk through. So this is a lot easier than with Elite Clue Scrolls, where I had like 5 pages of... I essentially had... I don't know, I split it all up into the limit of the tab, so there was a lot of items there. 2.3k death runes, 1.9k blood runes, that's not bad. 770... What? 7.7k of them, that's unbelievable. I remember there used to be junk items back when the trade limit was in RS. Used to have stacks of them. Quite a lot of shards actually. 3 of 1 and 2. 3 spears, 4 battle staffs, that's not going too bad. Tons of herbs. What herbs are these? I have no idea. I don't want to ruin the bank and identify one yet. I might do it at the end of the stream. But I'm not going to identify them all, so I don't want to ruin the pile. If botters came back, what would Jagex's priority be? Getting rid of the bots or creating new content? I think that... Well, it's not happening. I think Mod West is absolutely trashing the bots right now. If you can find more than the odd bot in a world, I'll commend you for it. It's very difficult to find bots these days, so I don't think it's actually an issue at this point in time for Old School, not at all. If they came back, we'd deal with it then, I guess. I mean, it would fully depend. Like, maybe we just released the new continent when the bots come back. In which case, you'll probably skimp out on the content just a little bit while we deal with the bots, but I don't think it would be that much of an issue because it's separate teams that deal with either thing. You've got Mod West dealing with those bots and destroying them, while you've got Alfred Ash, John, and Dan spamming out the content for you guys. So I guess it's not really an issue at all. Will Augury and Rigger be polled? I believe they were already polled, weren't they? Correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been a while ago now, but I think repolling stuff is, again, a bit of a cheat. Maybe if there's enough support for it, or we see a big change in the way people feel about it, then it might get repolled, but I think for the near future, that's probably not going to happen. Xbox One or PS4 or RS on Xbox One or PS4 a possibility? I have no idea. In terms of Old School, there are no plans for it. In terms of main game, I have no clue. I don't know if it's a possibility. I don't know if there are plans. I'm completely ignorant to that side of things, so I couldn't tell you, unfortunately. Free to play for good. Please. Free to play is the trial's gone really well so far. It's looking pretty good. I believe we'll have some news in regards to free to play next week. It's not anything to like go mad about, but there will be changes made to the trial. But you'll hear more about that next week. So yeah. Is that a different shard? That's a different shard. Okay, I finally got a God shard, God Sword shard 3. Not too shabby. Why did you apply for the job at Jagex? Because my friend Ian convinced me to. He wouldn't shut up until I did, so I did. Will there ever be a crystal spear? I don't see any reason why not. If you guys want a crystal spear, you have a good idea for how to implement it, then let us know. Gotta get that over there. Can't be having that on its new line. Can we have 2020 graphics? I think maybe we'll want to wait until 2020 before we decide that. Look at all these attack pots. And a Zami Spear, not too shabby. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, I'd highly recommend checking out the dev blog for Bounty Hunter. We've made a couple of changes to it since it went up, so if you already have seen it, it might be worth reading again. We tweaked a couple of things based on what people were saying. I'm going to replay this. Resume. There we go. New song. Yeah, there were a couple of changes made, but essentially, it's a target system implemented into the wilderness on a few worlds. The details of which can be found in the devlog. I'm not going to try and summarize it now because I'll butcher it and give people the wrong impression, which is not a good way of going about things. But yeah, if you go give that a read, it's sudden spam for Dragon Defenders. I don't know what the situation with Dragon Defenders is. I remember John making a Saki comment about how we could recolor a Rune Defender or something like that. Or maybe that wasn't a Saki comment. Maybe I'm just interpreting it like that. Maybe we could have a Dragon Defender, but it wouldn't necessarily look like it used to. I think the issue with Dragon Defender is that it didn't really do much. It just gives you a little bit of bonuses. Which, I mean, unless it's implemented in some way, like you get it from a certain boss monster or something like that, then what's the point? You're just getting one extra strength bonus. It's just going to make your hit a tiny bit harder, make your hits a tiny bit more accurate. But unless there's some way of implementing that that's a little bit unique and maybe add something to the game, I don't necessarily think it's something that's worth doing. But hey, if you guys have a better idea or a good idea for how to implement it, then let us know and maybe it will happen. Karasi and special attack potions, please. You know what? That's a good idea. No, that's a horrible idea. I think Karasi is... Oh, Staff of the Dead. That is as rare as a hilt. 1 in 508. That is nice to see. So I should only get maybe one more of them. No, maybe. I don't know. It's possible. Karasi though. No. No, just no. Declaws, I went over declaws a little bit at the start, and yeah, it's a matter. There's no issue with adding things to the game like declaws, but more so it's whether or not people want them, and whether or not it can be done in a way that it works with Old School. So if you add declaws as they were on release to Old School, you're probably going to see a hell of a lot of people getting one-shot in the wilderness, which won't make many people happy, other than people one-shotting them, which will be the minority. But the thing is, those kinds of things can be reworked to work in Old School. You can change declaws in a way that makes them appropriate for the game, but then again, if you're asking for declaws and you're getting a version of declaws that isn't quite what you remember, maybe you'll be disappointed. So who knows? One idea that I did see getting thrown about was maybe declaws that when you spec it uses 55% special. So you can't get double clawed and rushed, but they are still an option as a KO weapon that's a little more interest. It adds a bit of variation to PKing and whatnot. And it'd be pretty good for PVM, I would imagine, as well. Who knows? I don't remember how good claws were for PVM. Z-Spear, not too shabby. Oh, Dragon Dagger on the floor, not you. Bank time. How many are we at? 555. Just over halfway there. Oh, I can just spawn them while the loot spawns in my inventory. I think. Maybe. I don't want to risk that. I can't click that fast. I'm not boaty. What about Elite Void? I think that sort of runs into what I was saying before about there's not much point in adding something to the game if what you're adding doesn't really create much It doesn't add value to the game. So like if you add Elite Void, all you're really doing is adding a slightly more powerful version of Void that you can get at Pest Control, unless you were to add the minigame that went along with it, which the name of I cannot remember the name of that minigame for the life of me. Unless you add that, then you're not really adding anything to the game other than a bit of prayer bonus on a new version of Void, which isn't really worth anything to the game. It doesn't really add much at all. So I wouldn't say that it's at the top of our list, but hey, if people want it and you can think of an interesting way to implement it, then give us a shout and let us know. I keep reading the chat and just like hovering over the potato. It's not good. Conquest, that's the one. Yeah, I did love Conquest when it came out, actually. I played a fair amount of that. I opted to get my pest points through Conquest as opposed to doing pest control for my Elite Void. And then lost my Elite Void, so that's wonderful. Can you add level 91s? Again, you can add anything you want. You can add slightly more powerful versions of things, but it's how you add them that really creates the value to the game and gives people a reason to play. Like if you add a wand, how are you going to introduce that wand into the game? You could do it through a boss, you could do it through a mini game, you could do it through anything, skilling, whatever. But without a unique idea of how to introduce it, there might not be much value in actually adding to that. I can't speak. Adding that to the game. Dunge to Old School RuneScape. You know what? That's a highly requested thing. I've not actually spoken to anyone on the Old School team about dungeoneering. I've not heard. I don't recall anything that I've heard about their opinions on it either. 2 spears, 1 inventory. That's pretty nice. But I think maybe people would be against the idea of the rewards from dungeoneering. Perhaps the minigame itself might not be something that is too much of an issue for people. But without the rewards, why would you do the minigame? And if you're not going to have those rewards, what rewards would you have? So there's a 3rd spear. That's 3 spears and 1 in, I don't know, 1 in a tiny bit inventories. Yeah, I wasn't much of a fan of dungeoneering. Not because it was bad or anything like that, purely because I would opt out of any team activities in RuneScape. Unless it's PKing, I don't want any part of it. Barbarian Assault, I don't think I ever got a torso on the main version of the game, just because I couldn't deal with that. I did it on Old School because there was a bunch of people doing it when we got the stats to first hit up Barbarian Assault, but I'm not about those team activities. Could you add a rest option? We just got stamina potions. If you want a rest option, don't waste your time asking for it, to be honest. Just go and buy a stamina potion. They're amazing. I was using them when I was rune crafting yesterday, and I just never run out of run energy. It was absolutely beautiful. I think they're about 5k each, so they aren't the cheapest things in the world, but they are well worth it if you're doing something that makes you money, or even if you're not, just for the convenience. It's absolutely lovely to have that much run energy. Few super attacks on the floor. Okay, let's take a look at the bank. Not checked in a little while. I should have done it every 250 checking the bank, because now it's a little inconsistent. So, hooray for hindsight. But let's take a quick look, just cause. Those rune schemes are stacking up a bit. Tons of Godsword shards. 8 spears. I'm getting really lucky on the spears. They're 1 in 127. So to have had 8 in 655 is pretty unbelievable. Same with the staffs, or the steam battle staffs. Staff of the Dead, they're 1 in 508. Not on a hilt yet, which is quite disappointing. 1 in 508, same as a hilt, Staff of the Dead is. So yeah, that's not too bad. Doing pretty well. Will the graphics ever be updated? I think a lot of players would prefer it if it wasn't. Oh, I gotta pick up these attack bots. Gotta have the accurate. Oh, misclicks all day. I think the majority of players at this point in time they want it to be old school. They want the graphics to be as they are. I don't think anyone really has any gripes with the graphics as they are. I think in the distant future, if the players really wanted it, then I think maybe it would be a possibility, but at the same time, like a whole game graphical update like that would be a job for an enormous team, not a team the size of the old school team, not even close. Massive team it would take to completely upgrade the entire game. So I think if it were to happen, it's not going to happen in the near future, and it would have to come along with a hell of a good reason for it. How did I get hired by Jagex? I was told about the job. Another spear! This is going well. I was told about the job by my friend, went on the website, got the application, applied, did a couple of interviews, and was accepted. Pretty standard stuff. Resizable? I don't know how to answer this, to be honest. More so than anything because there's a couple of things that I've heard that are kind of inconsistent with each other, so it is a vague possibility, but it would take a lot of work and potentially a lot of resources that might not be available. It's just not impossible. What is going on with my Twitch chat? It's just stopped updating, so I'm going to have to give that a refresh. Let's see. Anyone going to pop up in the Twitch chat? There we go. Can you get a haircut, you freak? Yeah, I can actually. I'm probably going to fairly soon. It's getting ridiculous at this point, isn't it? Oh, got to. Oh, shard again. I keep on thinking that they're hilts every time. Should add a tab where you can edit. So this guy's asking whether or not we'd be able to add a tab where you can edit what keys correspond to what slot on your interface. So what buttons go to those places, if that makes any sense. I don't know. The hotkeys that switch between your tabs on your interface. Reckons you should be able to customize them, and I don't think that's a terrible idea at all. But the polling of the rearranging of them so that they'd be more like they are in the main game didn't pass. So that would be a question of whether it's been long enough to justify repolling it. Black screen, you're kidding me. I'm getting trolled. I'm checking. Twitch.tv/RuneScape. What on earth? Okay, I'm an idiot. Oh, goal. I pressed the tabs, forgetting that XSplit will automatically switch between teams. All should be well now. My bad. I'm not very good at this XSplit business. I apologise. I use OBS. All fixed. My bad. That was only brief. That was only a few seconds. Second major screw up of the stream though, so it's going well. New combat weapons soon. Again, if you've got an idea for a combat weapon, submit it. And if it's good and gets support, then we'll implement it. All the goal spam in the chat now. Would you introduce summoning into the game? Would you just use a regular quest like you did when it came out to begin with? I don't think people really want summoning in the game, to be honest. I think I get the overwhelming impression anytime that the question of summoning comes up that people don't want it. Maybe there'd be some way to, if some of the gameplay mechanics that came in with summoning could be implemented in other ways, maybe that would be a viable option, but I don't think that summoning as a skill will find its way into old school. Unless someone can come up with a genius way to implement it in an absolutely beautiful manner, which would be tricky. I've not had a hilt yet, no. I've had a Staff of the Dead, bunch of spears, just got another spear, but no hilts, unfortunately. Oh, wrong option. How do you submit an idea? Chuck it on the forums in the feedback and suggestions forum, and it will definitely get seen by one of us on the team. I'm always browsing the feedback and suggestions forum. I know a lot of people are concerned because it's not often that you'll see a huge number of posts from us in that forum, but that's more so than anything because an idea is often good or not. So our posts would be very repetitive and somewhat spammy and kind of unnecessary as well. If your idea gets a ton of support and is a really good one, then you'll probably see it come up. If it's not something that gets a whole lot of support or has a few flaws in it, then you won't. But there are just so many ideas going in there the whole time, it's impossible to respond to them all and give highly critical feedback on all of them. But I try and get a few posts in there a day. Why can I not think? Click, 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 there we go. Is Soul Wars a possibility for Old School RuneScape? Another Steam Battle Staff, not too bad. As I said with Stealing Creation, it's kind of the same story with Soul Wars, that it's a massive thing to make, and in all likelihood it probably wouldn't turn out the same. At least not exactly the same as it was in the main game, so I think if there was enough support, maybe it would happen, but the end result wouldn't be Soul Wars as you knew it. It would be the closest possible thing that our developers are able to make, and they're incredibly talented developers. If you guys, well, I suppose you wouldn't have seen it. Zami Spear, not too bad. You guys won't have seen it yet, but the PVM and skilling arena that Ash, Dan, and John have gone crazy to get out in time. They're looking amazing. They're looking absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see some of the PVM Cups take place. They're going to be absolutely hysterical. It'll be really good, and the skilling arena is looking really nice as well. But yeah, Soul Wars, there are no plans for it. I think it would take a lot to have it, to justify the time spent developing it, to get a near miss of what God Wars was, or Soul Wars was. But it's not out of the question. Nothing's really out of the question with Old School, let's be real. Other than maybe the EOC. I think that's where the line would be drawn. No hilt, shave your head bald. I'll pass. I feel I can get away with not doing that, so I'll be alright. Any news on bots? Not much news because there's not many of them, and the ones that you rarely do see will probably not be there for very long at all. Spawn 10 at a time, I can't. I think 5 is a reasonable amount because it keeps the pace decent enough so that we can see a decent chunk of loot every few kills, but 10's pushing it, let's be real. We'll bring out the Grand Exchange soon. The trading post is what people voted for, so the trading post will be seen before any discussions of changing it happen. I think the fact of the matter is people voted. We've got to give them what they voted for. If in the future it turns out to be not what they imagined, then maybe something will be done about the Grand Exchange. But again, Grand Exchange failed the poll, so we've got to be very careful that we don't tread on people's toes and essentially repoll stuff that already failed. It's if you constantly repoll stuff, just you got to justify not repolling other things as well, which is tricky. But the trading post will be out not too long from now. I don't have any specific dates. I don't think anyone does at this point, but we know what you guys want from it, and we're going to be making it. How am I killing them in one hit? Mod Reach, being the genius that he is, made it so that the second you spawn them, the next hit that you do will one hit them. So I'm pretty set on being able to kill these fast. I just go to God Wars and they're doing just a few backflips like this. People that are auto-talking without using the inbuilt auto-talker will get muted. and banned if they're doing things that are a little more shady than that, like advertising websites. Does it still not work with Magic Barrage? I'm sure it would work with Barrage, but chins are easier than Barrage. I started with 1,000 chins. That can't be right. Does it throw 5 at a time? That's a good question. Let's see. No, it threw a really weird number of chins there. That's odd. Zami Spear. Getting tons of spears. No, I'm not going to be joining a clan chat because I want you guys to be able to consistently see the number that I've killed so far, just so people can keep track. Zami Hilt, there we go. About time. What kill is that? 890-ish. Thank God for that. If I didn't get a hilt this stream, I would have been gutted. Why aren't I getting coin drops? I am getting coin drops. And to the guy that was asking how I one-hit them, is that really the question that you want to ask when I'm spawning 5 of them at a time? Can you have defenders as defenders? Surprisingly, no. Yeah, you can. I'll give you that. Second coin drop, not normal. I have no idea what you mean. I think I've been to God Wars Dungeon once on Old School because I am a total noob when it comes to PVM on this game. Total noob in general, to be honest. Spend most of my time not getting kills in the wilderness, but hey. Yeah, no, I couldn't tell you what's going on with that. PvP Slayer tasks. That's essentially just a target system, isn't it? Which is pretty much what we're proposing in the dev blog for Bounty Hunter. That's... when did that go up? That went up today, I think. Yeah, today. I mean, I wrote it and posted it today. I can't believe I almost forgot that it went up today. But yeah, the Slayer for PvP is essentially a target system where you're told who to kill, and that's pretty much what Bounty Hunter is. So if you haven't read that yet, go check out the dev blog and you can get an idea of what we're doing with that. Where'd you find these potatoes? I sincerely hope you don't find these potatoes. These are pretty exclusive potatoes. As you can see, they are rotten. Release date for New Skill. Right now, I don't think there is a release date for it. I mean, it's not even past the poll yet, so it'd be a little tricky to judge when it's going to be ready. I mean, the development is planned at this point. We know what we would like to have in the skill, and that's still being tweaked based on feedback and will be tweaked based on polls. But development hasn't started yet, so we can't really say how long the development will take. And even so, a specific date being given at this early stage probably wouldn't be an accurate date, even if you were given it. Open bank. I need to get the hang of this. If you feel like there are flaws in the Bounty Hunter dev blog, then just let us know. We are aware that the whole issue with incentives, a lot of people wanted loots from killing people and rewards from killing people, and we think that it would be good to get rewards from killing people, certainly, but then you've got the issue of if you give them items that are already in the game, be it resources like herbs or gear like rune, dragon, all of that, then you're going to impact the economy of those items. Like, So you've got to be very careful with introducing them. Generally, if people hear about people in PvP getting bonus loots of Rune, they won't know because they don't want to crash the price of Rune. And it's the same with pretty much anything you add in there. So unless you're adding new gear or new armor, then rewards probably wouldn't pass a poll. And then the new armor, essentially, that's PvP armor. So if any of you remember, PvP armor did not pass the poll. It didn't even come close. So it's very difficult to come up with those incentives to give people. So what we're doing right now is we're giving them the mechanics so that they can understand the mechanics, get a grip on that, and potentially see the benefit of adding the bonus loots in there. That way, when it comes around to voting, then fingers crossed, we'll get some really nice stuff in there for people. But if you talk about bonus loots from PvP at this point in time, or Bounty Hunter at this point in time, the first thing that comes into people's minds is Vesta, statuettes, dead economy. It's not a particularly appealing idea for a lot of people. And yeah, I'm at 1000, so time to check the loots. But we're going to get Bounty Hunter, hopefully the mechanics implemented so people can enjoy that side of things, and then as time goes on, maybe they'll want a little something for it and we can deliver that when it's time. So loot from 1000. That's a lot of rune skims, jeez. But to be honest, I am amazed with the amount of Zamorak spears that I've gotten. That is unbelievable. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. You should be able to see it. I think it's a screen region that I've set up. So let me show you. This is exactly what Mod John C wrote. Zamorak in Spear and Steam Battle Staff are 1 in 127 drops. Staff of the Dead and Zamorak Hilt are 1 in 508. So 1 in 127 drops. In 1000 kills, I got 13 and 11. That is amazing luck. I'm pretty satisfied with that. As for Hilts and Staff of the Dead, they're both 1 in 508, so getting 1 in 1000 is pretty reasonable. Would have been lucky to get 2. I think it probably would have been more likely to get 2, but who cares? I'm probably off there. Don't judge me on my maths ability. 1.5k of these. I don't know what these are. I need to find out. Lantadime. Okay, 1.5k Lantadime. I probably could have figured that out from the seeds that I was getting, but hey, I'm not that smart. Leave me be. So 192 attack, parts bank was made. 15 dragon daggers look to be roughly the same rarity as spears, but those spears, I got way more spears than I should. Maybe I got way more dags than I should. Probably not. Don't trust that statistic. 17.8k Addy arrows P++. That is unbelievable. 40k cash. That's kind of disappointing. Ton of Godsword shards. Yeah, but not much to go over in this one. The elite clues, it took me forever to organise the banking and go through every little thing, but in this one it's not too hefty. Bunch of loot though, not too bad. If any of you guys want to figure out the total loot from that, I'll post a screenshot of this on the Reddit unless you guys beat me to it, which I'm sure you will now that I've said that. Post it on Twitter, maybe get it up on the forums as well. But yeah, I suppose that's it for this week. What can I plug? Follow me on Twitter at JagXRonan. That shameless self-promotion. Make a ZGS. Can I make a ZGS? That's a very good point. ZGS. I've never made a Godsword before. I don't know how it works. Am I going to need to be an anvil? How do I put them on that? How does this work? Those pieces of the Godsword can't be joined together like that. Try forging them on an anvil. I should probably read the message that I'm getting. Where could I go to get to an anvil? I'm going to need a hammer. Give hammer. Please tell me that's going to work. Yes. Telly. I don't know the coordinates yet. I have to do it based on guesswork. Yes, bang on. Let's make this Godsword. How do I do it then? Do I use it on an anvil? Okay. Made it. Okay. This is a tedious process. There we go. Godsword blade. There we go. Wait, can I just put the blade onto the hilt without using the anvil, but the rest of it I need an anvil. Okay, well, yeah, that is it for this stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If not, I'm offended, but I hope you at least got some insight into the loots and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. That's about it. What can I plug? Bounty Hunter devblog, go check it out. Link is on the Old School RuneScape homepage, and it'll be in the general forum. What else is there? Artisan devblog, if you haven't read that yet, make sure you do. It's a big read, but it's a very, very worthwhile one, because it's a big update if it does end up happening, and it'll be good. Alkit. Okay. Give nature a rune. I don't know if I'm going to get this right. If I don't get this right first try. Okay, there you go. You guys are good. Oh, lucky. Oh, I typoed it. There we go. Okay. Alk the ZGS. How many people just cringed a little bit? 750k? What's going on? I would not have expected that. Although I suppose God swords are pretty damn expensive. Anything less than 750k would have been a touch disappointing. But yeah, that's it for this stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at 5 PM BST for the Q&A developer live stream. If any of these questions that I have butchered or didn't know the answer to come up in the chat there, I'm sure someone will pick up on it and we can ask them. If not, tweet them to me at JagXRonan. Make sure you follow me as well. More so, shameless self-promotion. And I will write them down and ask them if they're a good question. So, yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching.